When the heavy hitters in sports radio come together, the Neutral Zone, with your host, Bird Gang representative Casual E from Casual Sports, me, Jay Adams from The Focus, and NFL vet Ed Smith from Easy Sports Talk. Buckle up for 60 minutes of NFL football previews and pick'ems. Hold tight as we preview this week's games with in-depth analysis and opinion and a flavor all our own. Bragging rights are on the line with the Neutral Zone Pick'em trophy up for grabs. It's the Neutral Zone. Lace them up. It is the Neutral Zone. I am your host, Javon J. Love Adams, and with me, as always, is a star-studded cast. I'll start from as I'm in this box here. On my left is the one and only Casual E. Earl Burnett, and then we have right below him we have Sean McConnell. He is the champ. He is the reigning champ. And then we have below me is the one and only Ed Easy Smith, NFL veteran, and he also could hit a fastball. What was the fastball, or was it the curveball, the slider? What was your pitch when you were playing baseball, man?
I don't care how fast you was throwing it. If it was straight, you better look out. You better buckle up. You come with a high hard one as much as you want. You might get it by me once, might get it by me twice. Don't try to do that third time, brother.
I heard that. So this is our version of a football pick'em show. And so we do this every Thursday around this time, 8 o'clock Arizona time. And so we keep scoring. I'll have Sean McConnell give us an update on what's going on. We might be joined by Benny Blue from JB and the Benny Blue Review. We'll see how that goes. We sometimes have a moving cast in here, especially this season. So this is how we do it. This is our third season.
That's what happens when a show gets popular. Everybody wants to be on it.
That's what's up. And it's good that we don't have smell-o-vision, because I just came back from running and I'm funky as beep. So anyway, that's why we do it like this, though. That's what's up.
That's exactly why. Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah.
that's the reason. So Sean, if you want to recap what we do, and real quick, so one of the things we do is we break this down into segments, so 4 different segments, and so it kind of comes from my mind. So don't blame the guys if you're thinking that this team should have been in segment 1 or segment 3, etc. But the segment is always dedicated to the Arizona Cardinals, because at our heart we are an Arizona Cardinals show. So without further ado, Sean, what are the standings? Because I think we're bunched up a little bit, so it's not. We'll definitely over the next couple of weeks we'll have some separation. But let us know the standings.
Well, the standings were good last week. This week they got a little tricky, like you said. Ed and myself now, the 2 reigning champs of the past 2 seasons, are sitting at the top, tied for first. Meanwhile, the past 2 that have been in the bottom 2 the past couple seasons, I'm just saying. You guys are tied for third. I'm sorry, Earl. I'm sorry, Jay.
Fired. I'm in my last year of my contract. I'm about to get fired.
Seat's getting hot over there.
Yeah, we'll talk about Matt Patricia later. But so let's get into the first game on the slate. Let's go with the Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens. It is the Monday night game. This is a game where it's kind of the new guard of the NFL. And so, of course, we have Patrick Mahomes and we have Lamar Jackson. This is going to be played, of course, in Baltimore, but I don't think that they have any crowds coming in yet or any fans coming in at this point in time. But we know that both of these quarterbacks are electric. The defense, I know that the Kansas City Chiefs are coming off of winning, of course, the Super Bowl. But I would think that the nod when it comes to defense will go to the Baltimore Ravens. But I want to get your thoughts on this one, gentlemen. So let's start with you, Casual E.
Yeah, this could be an AFC Championship preview, of course. Everybody probably have that penciled in, but I don't. But I think it could be. Like you just got through saying, Baltimore is the better defensive team, more well-rounded team. Kansas City's defense is going to be their downfall this year. Last year they kept it to a point where they could barely get by. They look horrible right now. They can't stop the run or the pass right now. So, I mean, Baltimore can run. Baltimore can stop the run, and Baltimore's secondary is not too bad. So, the Chiefs' O-line is pretty good. Mahomes has only been sacked 1 time and hit 7 times. But when it comes to having to step back and throw that ball too many times in one game, you become one-dimensional. And with a team that can get a rush on you and make you one-dimensional, I see this game as Mahomes throwing it at least 45 to 50 times or more probably. Because they're they're going to be one-dimensional. But I'm going with Baltimore because Baltimore can run the football and they can stop the run as well.
What you got, Sean McConnell?
This game feels a lot like the KC Rams game where they combined for 109 points. I know Baltimore's defense is going to show up a little bit more than that. But are we seeing a game that might combine for like 115 or more? This feels like a very high-scoring game to me, like record-breaking high scoring. It's got all the markings to match that game, like I said, with the Rams. I might change it at the last second. Like Ed always says, I reserve the right to change it at the last second because this whole week, I've only picked 4 road wins. This is one of them. I'm picking Kansas City, but a lot of these smell like home victories just because they're so weird and such a toss-up to me. So I'm going to go Kansas City, but I might go Baltimore at the last second and get scared.
Easy, what you got?
Yeah, you ever notice these Monday night games? They never, and maybe it's because after all the Sunday hype and the Sunday, we get to Sunday night, the games never seem like they live up to the hype on Monday.
Yeah.
This one for me, Sean, you're calling shootout, could be a high scoring. This one could end up being a sloppy defensive game, which I would lean toward Baltimore because Kansas City's on the road, not necessarily any fans or anything there. But I'm not really liking what I'm seeing from Kansas City right now. It's almost like if you stop their one trick, they're not able to fall back and do something different. Whereas Baltimore's really creative with what they do. So for those reasons, I'm going to go with Baltimore just because, like I said, they're going to find a way to utilize Jackson. If you can shut down even just one or two of the Kansas City weapons we've seen, they just look a little out of sync right now.
So I don't appreciate you saying one trick and calling me a trick, man. We're supposed to be partners on the radio show, dog. So we got Benny Blue joining us. So we are talking about the Kansas City and Baltimore game. Who you got in that one, Benny Blue, from JB and the Benny Blue Review?
Yeah, so JB and I actually both picked the Ravens this week. Ed kind of touched on some similar points. A new episode is available on KSRM, by the way, folks tuning in. So you can hear us talk about that as well.
I love how the dude plugged the dang network every time he
Come on, man. We got the smooth transition, baby. Keep it in the family. And I agree. I think, to me, I think that there's still a lot to be uncovered and developed with the different options that the Chiefs can take advantage of in their offense. Everyone's like, oh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Everyone's going crazy over him. He's a rookie. He'll come down. He's very talented. He'll come down to earth a little bit. But I'm curious to know what they can do this year when it is a 37-40 type game late. You know what I mean? What is their closing ability going to be on defense? And I don't know that they have developed that necessarily at this point in the season, so early in the season. I mean, I know home field advantage doesn't really matter in these weird, strange COVID times, but nonetheless, I think the Ravens are just going to kind of impose their will a little bit this game late. I think it could be a field goal game. I really do. Just last second, hold your breath, but I got the Ravens.
You guys don't think it's going to be one of those last year type game where it was like a 30-40 type? I don't think it's going to be nowhere near that. I mean, you saw Kansas City's offense just last week struggle with a defense that was able to stop them. Baltimore can do that exact same thing and make Pat Mahomes stay on the sideline more possessions than he's used to. So I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Like you said, he's going to be a 3-point game, like a 23-20 type game.
Interesting. I guess we shall see. So coming in, going on to Green Bay at New Orleans, Sunday night game. It's Aaron Rodgers versus Mr. Tiptoe through the Tulips. so Green Bay is coming in at 2-0. And then New Orleans is at 1-1. So it's interesting to see in terms of Drew Brees. There's always this time, the last 2 or 3 seasons, has he lost it? I don't know. He'd be on his tiptoes more than me when I was trying to look at those girls when I was walking through the neighborhood trying to see some of those young ladies when I was a young teenager, fool. So what you got on this one, Ed Smith?
We always talk about the decline of the quarterback, and we're starting to see it with Drew. Primarily in the down the field game. He's still as accurate as anybody out there, but everything is dink and dunk. And then you take away Michael Thomas. I mean, their offense is definitely not hitting on all cylinders. And Green Bay, first 2 weeks, look just like they should look. And for this one,
42.5 points per game over the
yeah.
last 2 weeks.
And and I think Rodgers is playing with a chip on his shoulder because they went out and got that the quarterback in the draft, and he's out there to prove something. This one for me, and my rules, Sean, I usually stick with the home team when they're kind of even, but I don't even think this one's going to be even. This looks like Green Bay all the way for me.
What you got, Benny Blue?
You know what? This has a weird kind of trap game vibe to it for the Packers. As we say in the podcast, it could be the Packers smelling their own piss, as they say. They're coming in hot. Ed makes a great point. It's funny. What happened in the offseason was very symbolic of how much Drew Brees really needed Michael Thomas. I mean, Alvin Kamara is doing his thing, but he can only do so much. And the Packers are going to put up points. So I do think the Packers are going to win. I think the vibe around the predictions you see on all these different platforms is that the Packers are going to go down there and wash them. I think it's going to be closer than what people think, but I think it's going to ultimately be how many scores can the Saints keep up with, and I think eventually that's going to get away from them. So I'm taking the Packers too.
Sean, what you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go Packers here. No Thomas. It's going to haunt New Orleans, I think. Can anyone stop the Green Bay offense? I don't think so. It's going to be closer than the Cupcake games that they've played before. Sorry, Benny, about your lines there, but this game is actually going to be a road win in a quiet New Orleans stadium, which will also be very weird to see.
Yeah.
Casual E.
I'm going to give you a stat. 18 carries, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 9.3 yards a carry. That Aaron Jones is no joke. You come in there and let that boy do what he was doing last week, it's going to be a long day for the Saints. And I told y'all last week, that is not the same team, of course, without that receiver. And, of course, the old man's getting old. Like Ed said, it's winding down. You can see it. He can't even see the linebackers anymore. I mean, so, I'm definitely going with the Packers in this one because they can run that ball down your throat.
Okay. So we got the New England Patriots going against the best team ever in the history of football, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Who?
The Raiders are coming in at 2-0, the Patriots at 1-1. But of course, we know that the Patriots are going to run. It's like there's that saying in hip hop that's ride this thing till the wheels fall off. The Patriots are going to ride this Cam until the wheels fall off. And so we're going to see how this goes this season. So let's see what you got on this one. What you got, Sean?
I'm sorry, Jay. The Raiders intrigued me, but not that much. They kept it close against a weak Carolina team, but then pulled away from New Orleans. Meanwhile, New England almost stole the game away from Seattle on the road. I think this game will come down to coaching, which will eventually give the sleeveless Jedi Master the edge. New England's going to win. Sorry, Jay.
What you got on this one, Ed?
This what Belichick is doing with Cam Newton is part of his brilliance. Why would you bring somebody like Cam in? Most coaches would, well, this is a system we've run for the last few years, so let's get Cam incorporated in this. Nah, they got him there, and they're using that run game to throw everything off. And they're going to mask everything, and it's going to be a week-to-week process. They're going to come out with wrinkles. They're going to do this. And for me, this is just shows how, how smart that coaching staff is up in New England. Not taking anything away from your Raiders and their 2-0 start, Jay. F your Raiders, by the way. But this is New England, and we talked about it on the show. They're going to ride Cam like that rental car we get when we're on the road, right? You're going to drive that thing. You see that speed bump, you don't slow down. You go faster, bro. Yeah. They're going this 1 year rental with Cam. They're going to use them, and they're going to get this win right here.
What you got, Casual E?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna actually go with the Raiders in this game. I am, because do I have the wrong matchup? Come on, talk.
You better recognize pick them Raiders, fool.
Stay with that pick. We like picking up points. So
Come on
now. No, listen to me. I'm going again with that team, the Raiders, because I think I got to fire off something. Hold on a second.
Cellular.
Production value.
Is that considered an upset again? Y'all better start listening to me. I've been right every time, and y'all look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, when you pick it right.
Look. Exactly, huh? Hey, the Raiders, and I'm going to go back to this running thing. I'm sorry. When you're balanced like that and you can run the ball like that, you can beat any team. And the Patriots defense is not the same defense, having those opt-outs, of course. You know that. They looked horrible on the outside against wide receivers in that game that they played last week. They gave up 154 yards in rushing. They can't stop the run either. And you want to talk can't stop the run, you're going to bring that dude Jacobs in there and you can't stop the run, you in trouble. You give him a stat line like he had last week, he's going to have 200 yards in this game.
What you got, Benny Blue?
Well, Ed, I hope when you get rental cars, you hit them damn bumps like that. You got the insurance, and Sean,
I always get the insurance.
And I hope they have insurance for Cam, because I got to tell you, those design runs to the left, him running straight in the line was driving me crazy last week. And to Sean's point, Belichick's looking extra homeless with the sleeves and the holes cut in. It's like I don't know if that's like merch that you can buy, but like that's his whole style. And so he looks like a mad scientist, and that's kind of what he has to do to win this game. To Earl's point, they're having trouble covering the outside. The Patriots have a very weirdly set up defense, because it's like no pass rush, no linebackers, and a bunch of DBs. So the Raiders, as Javon knows, they have a bunch of different targets. Not like any real other than Jacobs, no real like kind of superstar playmaker. Right. But they have a lot of options. So the key to the Pats winning this game by the hair of their chin is turning Derek Carr into a hero in the red zone. And I think Belichick is going to mastermind something to steal one. I think it's going to be one of those where 3 3/4 of the game, it's like, oh, the Raiders got this. And I think they're going to let it slip through their committed to excellent hands. And, they're going to go back to Vegas and, enjoy a social distance slot machine or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
So let's transition, because I don't like the way y'all talking bad about my Raiders.
That's bad about no Raiders.
Let's talk about Rams at Buffalo. It's the matchup of early on in the season, 2 unbeaten teams, 2-0 each coming in. What's interesting that I wanted to talk about is that the Rams are coming in with about 172 yards rushing on average per game here. So in terms of the points per game, again, it's very early samples, very small sample size, but 29 and 28 points per game respectively. So your thoughts on this? Let's go with you first, Benny Blue.
So I picked the Rams on the podcast, and I'm sticking with that. I think that to me, honestly, the Rams are what I would call like 1 year away Raiders, or reverse that, where give the Raiders another year and they could be at the level with what the Rams are doing now.
I'll take that.
I think, listen, it's progress. And I think the Rams have a bit too much firepower for the Bills to keep up with. And I know that Josh Allen is connecting well with Stephon Diggs, and they're pretty balanced and they're well coached. And to be honest with you, if this were normal times, I probably would take the Bills because I do believe they have a legitimate home field advantage. But I think the Rams are a little bit creative in the play calling and run it up a little bit late and win on the road.
Okay, what you got, Casual E?
I agree exactly what he just said. I mean, the Rams are starting to look like that team that made the Super Bowl run 2 years ago. And now something is starting to form here. The reason why they were not that Super Bowl team was because Todd Gurley wasn't what Todd Gurley was. Take that running game out of their offense, they become just this staggered offense. Put that running game back in their offense, which they have this 3-headed monster right now, is making them dynamic and making them more dangerous. And they look like that team that can run up the scoreboard on you. The Bills are a very good secondary and a very good defense. I'm going to be interested to see how Goff handles that pressure, and can he handle the pressure in that game, and can they put up the points like they've been putting up the last week. But I'm going with the defensive team in this game, because I like the Buffalo's defense.
All right, what you got, Ed?
You went all the way around the Rosie just to come back and tell us you were taking the Bills?
All year long, I want everybody to see that Todd Gurley was the difference. He wasn't that good.
I kept waiting for you to go ahead and make that, bold prediction of Rams, and you came all the way back around to us and talk about the defense.
Hey, Ed, real quick. When we first started the show 2 years ago, you told me one thing: you better do your homework. I've been doing my homework.
I see it. I like it. I'll make mine real short here. I like that Buffalo defense against Goff. I know the Rams can be dynamic. And I know we're not talking about home field or Rams or anything like it. It's not cold yet, anything like that. But that I have been impressed with what Buffalo has done and Allen has done offensively, and they can just repeat that, and that defense It's all about flustering Goff. I think if you can shut down the running game, force him to then have to carry the load, I don't think his back is as strong as some of the other quarterbacks out there. So I'm going to go with Buffalo.
Sean, what you got?
I got Buffalo for the same reasons. This game's definitely about which offense can overcome the opposing defense for sure. Who's going to be able to overtake that? And to me, Buffalo's defense is stronger. And I also really like that chemistry of Diggs and Allen. I think that's really going to be something to look at in this league. They're not going to take the league by storm necessarily, but it's going to be a nice surprise when people are watching their games and think, wow, this is really nice chemistry, good connection. Both offenses put up similar numbers, but I'll take Buffalo. Even though they're at home with nobody, Bills Mafia will find a way to will them to victory 600 feet away.
It's interesting how there's definitely been a culture shift when it comes to the Buffalo Bills, and so that's definitely evident. But one of the things, so going into this next game, we're talking about the San Francisco 49ers against the New York Giants, and on Believe in the Arizona Cardinals podcast, my partner Ed and I were talking about a little bit about the of course the week 2 mash unit that became the San Francisco 49ers. And so as the San Francisco 49ers are back on the East Coast for 2 weeks in a row, now they're facing the Giants. Your thoughts on this? And let's go with you, Sean. What you got on this one?
This one is an interesting game to me. I feel like the Giants were going to play a lot better, and now obviously losing Saquon really changes the dynamic of all of that. So it's like the banged up bowl. I really don't know who to pick. I believe I went with the Giants because they're at home, and I think Danny Dimes is going to just show up over the 49ers back. Garoppolo's not playing, right? So they're going with their backup, correct? That's from what we've heard.
So, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with Danny Dimes over whatever backup quarterback San Fran has and just kind of hope for the best. This is just a weird game to me, but I don't like a backup quarterback on the road.
Benny Blue?
Yeah, this one is the amputee game for sure. I mean,
that's better. I like that better.
So many. I know so many impact players out of this one. It's this one's going to be a tough watch if you're watching it. I think the Niners are better coached, and I believe JB and I believe in Nick Mullins, aka the real Big Dick Nick, Southern Miss to the top. And he actually Nick Mullins is actually one of the better backups in the league. And Danny Dimes doesn't have anybody. I mean,
he doesn't quite crow right, as me and my partner like to say.
Right. Yes, I mean, I'm taking the Niners because, a little bit more depth and better coach. Niners.
What you got on this one, Casual E?
Yeah, this game would have looked the same if Jimmy G was in it. It's still going to look the same because him and Jones look the same to me. They're the same guy to me. They have dink and dunk and tight ends that they throw the ball through. That's it. So this is going to be a running game. Of course, with no Saquon Barkley, that's going to make it hard for the Giants. But the 49ers will pull this out because they got a better defense. So it's going to be an ugly watch, like Benny said.
Easy.
And I agree with Benny here. This, it's going to be a ugly game. It's going to be one that I'm going to go with San Fran just because I trust Shanahan more. And this is the reason why you get the NFL package in the red zone, so you don't have to watch this garbage. If this was your local game, I'd be like, hey, it's time to go bowling or something like that. So,
your local game.
Yeah, I'm going to San Fran.
So we have come to the end of the first segment, so I think we're going to take a quick little break and come back with our extended segment for the Detroit Lions at the Arizona Cardinals segment.
You are listening to the Neutral Zone right here on the hottest internet radio station on the web, KSRNAZ.com.
Welcome to the Neutral Zone Show. Lace 'em up.
You good?
We are back. It is the Neutral Zone. So again, we do this every Thursday from 8 to 9. So the second segment is always dedicated to the Arizona Cardinals. And so it's cool because we have a gentleman that is a diehard fan of the Detroit Lions. So that's Benny Blue. So we're definitely going to get into this. So we have the Detroit Lions coming in at 0-2. We have, goodness gracious, can you believe it? The Arizona Cardinals coming in at 2-0.
Man.
So one of the things that I was doing a little bit of research, so I came across a couple of different articles about the Detroit Lions and their defensive kind of woes, because you have a defensive minded coach in Patricia that maybe the pass rush isn't really being as effective as they had hoped, and also maybe the in terms of the pass defense as well, not being as effective as they had hoped. So as we come into this, and the Cardinals are hoping to get to 3-0 to start the season and get the 750 close friends and family that will be in the arena on Sunday all worked up into a lather. What can we think about this one as we go into this game? Let's start. I'm gonna leave Casual E and Benny Blue to last, so I'm gonna let y'all know right now so y'all can get into it. But let's start with you first, Sean. What you got on this one?
Before I start, though, I got to shout out. It's my oldest son's birthday tomorrow. He'll be 11. He was the one on that joiner that said lace him up. So he's the promo that Earl put together for the Neutral Zone. So shout out to Ethan. Happy birthday tomorrow, buddy.
Happy birthday, Ethan.
All right, so two stats I really want. Well, yeah, kind of stats that I really want to focus on. One's a little more numbers heavy, but Detroit is allowing 34.5 points per game, 204 rushing yards per game, and 241 passing yards per game. Can't stop nothing, won't be nothing. Kyler Murray has more rushing yards than McCaffrey, more rushing touchdowns than Ezekiel Elliott, more pass yards than Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be a nightmare for Detroit. I have a big win here, and I'll just keep it short because I know Earl and Benny are about to get into it with the gloves.
What you got? Easy. What you got?
I've been doing the podcast all week for the people over in Detroit, Michigan, the Michigan area, and they feel like we did a couple of years ago when we had that team we throw out there, and it was just like, oh my God, that's just horrible to watch. But this game scares me a little bit because this is that type of game where Matt Stafford, you never know what he can do. I mean, he can come out here and next, throw for 450 yards. They're getting Galladay back, Adrian Peterson coming back, for a little revenge. Like we talked about it earlier today, Jay. It's like, seeing that ex-girlfriend, you want to make sure you're looking all good and tight. And so, he coming out here and he's going to make sure he's doing a little extra curls and all that kind of stuff. He's going to look good out there on Sunday. But in the end, even with all that being said, I'm going with the Cardinals just because we look really good right now. And this early in the season, everything seems to be working, and I didn't expect it to look this good this early. So, hopefully they come ready to play. Don't let Matt sit back there and get comfortable, because it could be one of those shootouts. This is the game of all this week. This one could be like one of those 37, 34s or something like that. But I'm thinking the Cardinals will handle their business with those 750 people in the stands too, by the way. So yeah. I'm going with the Cardinals in this one.
What you got, Benny Blue?
So look, if I were a dad and the Detroit Lions were my kid, I'd be like, "You can do it, son." And then I would reach around the corner and then pay my bookie and say, "Put 250 against." I would make my money, but I would still root for my team. So when you look at what's been happening with Detroit, and I've watched a decent amount of film on the Cardinals too. The issue is not talent. The issue is being put in bad positions. For example, if you're watching any of the highlights or watching the game when they faced the Packers, first play from scrimmage in the third quarter, they let Aaron Jones run it right up the middle like a high school game and ran it to the house. Right. That's not a talent issue. That's a you're put in the wrong position. I think Patricia gets a lot of things wrong because he doesn't stick to an in-game scheme, and then he lets his foot off the gas of what's working late. So I don't project to see that in this game. Also, keep in mind, fellas, Kenny Galladay's finally back for Detroit, and we didn't have that. And I don't suspect that Kyler is going to get as loose as he has in previous weeks with his feet. Here's why I'm impressed with Kyler. Kyler is throwing these 1-yard balls on the sideline, and he's lacing it to multiple receivers. I saw him throw it to Kirk and Isabella, and obviously DeAndre's there. Kenyon Drake can do his thing in the run game. I think a lot of that stuff is going to be tightened up. The key to the game for me is how Detroit's messed up secondary. I mean, Jeff Okudah got his welcome to the NFL moment trying to cover Devontae Adams last week. He's still getting his flow without a preseason. How can their banged up secondary match up in man situations, especially when Kyler needs to make a play? So right. I agree with Ed. I think this is going to be a situation where it's going to be, come on, fellas, we know how these teams play each other. It's real close. One side, we're going to blow them out. Other side, we're going to blow them out. It's never the case. So I think I'm, of course, going to pick my team, but I am not surprised if it goes razor thin either way, because I think there's going to be a lot of adjustments, bulletin board material for the Lions to step it up. Not saying they're going to live up to all that stuff, and I know what the Cards are capable of, but I think it's going to be a very good game to watch.
No ties.
One of the things I wanted to kind of follow up with what you mentioned, Benny Blue, is that when you mentioned in terms of Golladay coming back, so do you think that the Lions will kind of put that running game, really trying to even dedicate themselves to the running game aside, and really just let Matt Stafford just do his thing to try to take advantage and try to get those chunk plays as much as possible?
Well, I mean, Kenny Golladay has become, since I guess last year, maybe even the year before, their number one receiver. I mean, that's why they traded for Marvin Jones from the Bengals to be the number one. He was overtaken by Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay is a real diamond in the rough and became that guy. And you got to remember, Kerryon Johnson is coming up with his ability just in the run game. DeAndre Swift, yeah, he dropped the pass to beat the Bears, and he's a rookie. I mean, you don't like to see it, but it happens. He dropped the touchdown pass. And I'll tell you what, fellas, I don't know what Kobe Bryant blood transfusion that Adrian Peterson got, but he can still, if he gets to that second level, he's still going to break off 7 or 8. So now when you have Golladay to have the risk to take the top off, now you're talking about a more complete offense. And I think that's going to be a little bit harder to prepare for with the shortened season and not having any recent tape on what they can do with Kenny. So I think it's going to make the game much more interesting.
Interesting. So what you got, Casual E?
Man, I kind of almost stand alone on this thing. All week long, I've been hearing everybody say this is going to be a shootout type game, and I don't see that. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm missing something. But if you can't stop the run, and you have no pass rush, and your secondary is a little suspect, you are what you are sometimes, and it's like that can't get cleaned up in 1 week. You are what you are. And Kyler Murray and Kenyon Drake are going to eat and feast in this game. They're gonna. Man, this I got this being the Cardinals' first 40 burger in my head, from what I'm looking at on paper and what I'm looking at from the numbers, from everything. If you can't stop the run, giving up 259 yards, averaging 7.4 yards given up in the running game, and you got a quarterback that can run the way Kyler runs, I think he will get loose in this game, and I think he will be the difference again to spread all that out, and you get a little fear factor of him running, and then that's going to open up those passing lanes again. And this is going to be one of those things where the Detroit Lions, yeah, they can battle here and there, but everything matches up perfectly. You guys are talking about Golladay coming back, but I'm not so cool with receivers coming back off injuries. And when the receivers come back off of injuries, they don't tend to get back to where they were before they got injured. And then you throw a Patrick Peterson on that guy, it's going to be tough for him. That's going to be a pretty hard day for him. And then I look at the only strong point I look at Detroit that scares the crap out of me is that T.J. Hockenson. That tight end, and it might come back to Hannes. Early in the game, he's going to get loose. This is how this team goes. I know this team like the back of my hand. This is how it's going to go. Early on, he's going to get loose on our linebackers, and then they're going to sure that up. Everything outside of that's going to be locked up. So how are they going to score? I don't see this being that big scoring thing like everybody thinks it's going to be. The Cardinals can get a pass rush that Detroit's can't get a pass rush on Kyler if he doesn't run. They haven't sacked hardly anybody this year. They don't get a pass rush. We've sacked 4 times last week to that Washington team without Chandler Jones getting his sack. So, and the reason because of that, he's getting double teamed and being chipped by the running back. But at some point, they're going to let that loose. He's going to get loose at some point. You put pressure on Matthew Stafford, he will throw you the ball. You put pressure on in his face up the middle, he will throw you the ball. Yeah, he'll get some touchdowns early in this game. I see this thing, the Cardinal 40 burger, 41-21. That's just
41. I was telling my partner that I had it about maybe 40-37 or 40 something like that.
Man, I don't see. I mean, you can't stop the run. We're gonna open this offense is gonna be wide open. I mean, think about it. If you can't stop the run, you're gonna get killed. That's all I can see. That's all I can see. That run game is big to me, especially with the Kyler Murray factor. You know he's a fear factor in every dang defensive coordinator's playbook. You know he is. They're not going to come out and admit it right now, but he is. Okay. And Drake will get on track in this game, too, because we need him to get rolling this year, too. So
Drake.
40 burger.
That's what's up. So we're gonna move to the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to be going up against the Dallas Cowboys, and there's a fear factor when it comes to Russell Wilson. I'm sick of this. The whole thing. Let Russell eat or let Russell cook. Let him cook. Good Lord, people pick up on these
Leave
little
him
sayings
alone.
and just copy and paste them. But so of course Seattle's coming in at 2-0. We know that Dallas is coming off of the high of coming back against the Atlanta Falcons. Your thoughts on this one? Let's start with you, Benny Blue.
It's funny because this matchup has the makings of all types of janky on it for some reason. You know what I mean?
Janky, I love it.
It just reeks of things going the way nobody thinks it's going to go. I'm going to take the Seahawks only for the simple fact that yes, I do think Russ will make plays. I mean, kudos to Seattle's O-line. They're not amazing, but they're much improved thus far since they were last year. I just want to know what are the Cowboys going to do with DK Metcalf, and how are they going to contain Chris Carson? I mean, I know what Dak can do on offense, but man, Jamal Adams is playing some good ball. So I think this is going to be a very strange, janky game, but I'm gonna trepidatiously take the Seahawks.
Good
Word to Ice Cube in the janky movie. So Ed, what you got?
That Cowboys win was a fugazi, man. They should be 0-2 if not for the Atlanta Falcons and their pitiful ways. And we'll get into that Atlanta game. We'll talk about that one, but that was pathetic.
That was.
The Cowboys should be 0-2. I think they're overrated. You go into Seattle, who's playing probably the best fundamentally sound football of all the teams right now. Russell Wilson, and I think they should just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let Russ do what he does. Russell Wilson, let him do what he does. Don't try to overthrow him. Don't try to overrun him. Just let him be him and let Pete Carroll be Pete Carroll, and they'll just keep chipping off these wins. And this will be another one against a Dallas team that, like I said, they'll find a way to lose this game, just like they tried to give the game to Atlanta, and then Jerry will be running around ready to chop everybody's heads and stuff like that. But this is, like I said, this is Seattle all the way.
What you got, Casual E?
This is two teams coming off of some very high emotional wins, and they're going to be feeling good. Both of them coming in thinking they on their way. So if any game's going to be a shootout, this is the shootout game right here. They're going to offensive back and forth, because both those teams can put up some points as far as the offense goes throwing the ball. But this is going to come down to Ezekiel Elliott and Seattle's front. Seattle held New England at 2.7 yards per carry. Now, I don't know if that was just because of New England didn't have all their whole cast of runners and everything, because, shout out to White for losing his family. I mean, that was horrible having to have that come down on a game day like that for him. But they didn't have their whole cast, and so I'm thinking that had something to do with their running game. So I want to see what Ezekiel Elliott does with that front. But this can be one of those games where a touchdown, whoever's got the ball last, and when Russ got it last, he's going to win it on you. So okay. I got Seattle.
And Sean?
Yeah, I'm going Seattle here too. They lost Blair and Irvin, which is going to be tough to recover from, but their offense is rolling faster than a Dallas onside kick. Seattle's numbers don't make any sense, which means that they're crazy efficient with the ball, scoring in bunches without high yardage. I mean, we're looking at 424 yards to 36 versus Dallas's 488 to 28. Dallas will struggle on the road and find themselves in the L column once again, Ed. Don't worry.
Tampa Bay at Denver. The reason I have this here is because Tampa Bay is almost like Cleveland was a season ago, whereas everything they do, everybody's going to be watching very closely, of course, because of the one and only Tom Brady. What do you got in this one as Tampa Bay is going to Denver? We know that Denver's starting quarterback is out. So let's start with you, Sean. Who you got?
Bortles mania. Just kidding. No, Tampa Bay is going to cash in.
Commit to it.
Not a chance in this planet. No. Tampa Bay is going to look to cash in after Denver will.
Gonna piss Ed off saying that.
That's why I brought it in. I was hoping Ed would be here today. Tampa Bay is going to look to cash in after Denver. The struggle to gain any momentum. They're having a hard time. No lock, I believe, in this game as well. So this is a big win for Tampa Bay. Finally, their coming out party will happen.
Earl, what you got?
This is the second tuner for Brady. Period. That's all I got on it.
Okay, Ed, what you
Simple.
got?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Tom Brady and all those weapons against the backup quarterback in Denver, and yeah, this is Tampa Bay all the way.
And Benny?
Yeah, I like Sean. I literally said to myself the other day, since when was Blake Bortles on the Broncos? I thought he was still Goff's backup
About
for the
yesterday.
Rams, so
Ah,
God bless you, Blake Bortles. Keep getting them checks. Yeah, Bucks are gonna roll. I'm gonna give you guys a prediction. Now that the Broncos have ruined my prediction of them, actually sneaking into the playoffs with all their injuries, Broncos are now the dark horse to get Trevor Lawrence.
Oh,
I'm telling
man.
you, book it.
Oh my gosh.
They would
Oh,
love
my
that.
Goodness.
John
Oh, my goodness.
Elway is salivating, boys. He is salivating.
He's more than just that. He's got a wop for it. He's got a
All he
wop for
does
it.
is want to draft quarterbacks that he thinks look like him, that play like him.
Yep.
Crazy.
somebody real quick tell me why Kaepernick didn't get a look at for that job.
We know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, they know. They know. Yeah. So
He's stupid.
we're gonna go to Chicago at Atlanta. They could use Ed Smith out there. I don't think he could run a out or an in or an even or whatever the hell. Ed can't do shit right now. Anyway, so we have the Atlanta Falcons coming in at 0-2, and surprisingly Chicago coming in at 2-0. I still don't trust Trubisky. I don't. It's not one of those things. I don't necessarily trust the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons either. I think it was you last week, Earl, that said that essentially the Falcons can do anything they want between the 10s, from 10 to 10, and then when it gets to time to throw that touchdown or to try to drive it in, they can't do it. But so your thoughts on this, and let's start with you, Ed. Who you got on this one?
Man, every time you pick Atlanta, they lose. Every time you pick Atlanta or pick against them, they win. And after what they did out there in Dallas last week, oh my goodness, they're. I mean, was it the head coach on the way back? He should have spent the whole flight back in the bathroom, just hoping that Jerry didn't want to have a chat with them. Because you can't. That onside kick situation, that fiasco, that's all about preparedness. You think that would ever happen to a Belichick team or a well-coached team? Who doesn't know that you have every right to jump on that ball before it goes 10 yards? These dudes are waiting around for it like it's a hot potato. We can't jump on it. So for me, this is a game where I'm hoping he has the Falcons inspired, because if not, he's going to get a couple of Home Depot cards and some drinks on the way out the door. They're going to give him a little parting gift. Because his clock is ticking. He was on the clock at the end of last year.
Yeah.
You start off like this.
You on overtime. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
you don't come out with some fire and win this game, so that's why I'm picking Atlanta, even though I have every reason in the world to pick against them. But I'm gonna go with Atlanta just because this is one of those games they'll come out and act like they actually know how to play football.
Earl, who you got?
Man, Atlanta would be a Super Bowl contender. They would be undefeated right now if football was 2.5 quarters. Because man, this team can light it up early. I mean, this is what they've done since last year. Years before this, they light it up early, and then somehow they lose their mind. I like this matchup for them because, I defensively, you talk about Trubisky. This is one game that he could be happy to play in because their defense has held every quarterback that they've played so far to like an 80-ish quarterback rating, and that's not all that great. But this offense early, like the Falcons that are going to come in really early, and the ball's going to be flying all over the place, and then the Bears defense will slow it down and make them play them in the fourth quarter. And I like the Bears defense and their pass rush in this game. So I'm going with Chicago in this game.
Benny Blue?
So on the podcast, I accuse the Lions and the Falcons of being like the NFL's version of that Spider-Man meme where they're both pointing at each other, because they both do the same things. They can run it up early and they have a lot of firepower. Yep. They lack discipline in critical moments, and they have a defensive coach who has like a membership to Home Depot and will probably have a job there after this is all over because they are out the door. This is a must-win game for the Falcons, and I do think they are really truly the dirtiest of birds right now. They need a bath and an exorcism to get out of what happened last week. I proposed actually in 2016 when they blew the 28-3 comeback that they should have been relegated Premier League style down a league, and then Bama should have came up and taken their spot for choking in the Super Bowl. That should be the punishment.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree that should be the punishment. You choke in the Super Bowl, you get relegated down to Division I college football.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me. Nonetheless, the Bears are flawed. The Bears are flawed.
That's harsh.
And I'm taking the Falcons. The Falcons will win.
Sean, what you got?
To me, this is a 50-50 game. It's the Pretender Bowl. I think Atlanta's going to win at home. I'm still waiting for the Trubisky letdown. His default setting is picks, so it's going to happen today, Sunday.
All right. So let's go to Washington at Cleveland. We know that the Washington football team is coming off of a loss to the Arizona Cardinals in Cleveland. There's always that wondering coming off of a victory last week, can they keep that up? Can their quarterback kind of start to really get things all put together? So given that, what's your thoughts on this one, Casual E?
I didn't really put anything on this one as far as analyzing everything. I just look at the Cleveland Browns right now are trying to get a rhythm going. And that game last week with a subpar opponent is another subpar opponent this week. So just use that game to get tuned up, get on point with your receivers, Baker. Keep your head, keep that running game going. Them two dudes is like, man, if you can run the ball like that every week, then you can play anybody and win. But they'll win this game because it's going to be another tune-up for them.
Sean, what you got?
Yeah, Cleveland looked much improved in the Ohio Bowl. Utilizing Nick Chubb will be crucial in this game. Washington showed promise in their defensive line, but not much else. I see the home team winning here. If Cleveland can win the field position game, that's crucial for them. I'm going Cleveland.
Benny Blue?
Yeah, I mean the key for the Browns and this whole cloud that hangs over Baker Mayfield's head is you have these weapons and it's this weird family affair where they're fighting over one ball and there's this whole thing about it, and they need to be able to kind of build from the Nick Chubb Kareem Hunt tandem. Build from that. You can check down to them. You can establish a run game from Chubb. Then you can build from there to take the top off and get it to Odell or get juice in the soft spot in the zone. That's how they're going to actually find success going through the season. And like Sean said, it's going to be one of those things where they can actually start on a Washington team. Yeah, they have Chase Young. It's cool. But Washington, I mean, they need a name. They need an identity. They need a lobotomy. They need a lot of things. And they're going to be pretty bad this year. So I'm taking the Browns.
And who you got?
Yeah, this is all about using your weapons properly. I don't care. You don't use a bazooka to kill a rabbit, that type of thing. This is one of those ones. You got those type of running backs.
Yeah.
I don't care where you drafted Baker Mayfield. His job is to be able to hand the ball off 40 to 50 times, throw it 15 to 20 times, walk away with your victory. And that's if they're smart, that's what they'll do. I don't care how much Odell wants to cry about he's not being utilized and this and everything. It's all about them W's. The best way to get it in this situation is that form. You got two of the best running backs in the game. You got great, decent tight ends. Use that. You should be able to beat this Washington football team just like we did last week without any fuss.
There we go. So let's transition to Houston at Pittsburgh. Houston is going to Pittsburgh, 0-2 Houston going to 2-0 Pittsburgh. Houston about 84 yards per game in terms of rushing. We know that if we look at it, we see that, Houston is giving up 33.5 points per game, going up against Pittsburgh. What do you got on this one? What you got, Sean?
I feel bad for Houston. First, you lose your biggest non-quarterback star. Then you have this schedule to start your season. You go KC, Baltimore, and then Pittsburgh. Ooh. Pittsburgh is rolling while healthy, only allowing 66 rushing yards per game. Just stuffing people. I'm going Pittsburgh here. I think it's going to feel big. The score's not going to show big, but it's going to feel big. It's going to feel like Houston maybe scored one late and they kept it close, but Pittsburgh will have the game the whole way.
What you got, Ed?
Rough. Just like Sean said, this is a rough stretch for Houston, but you guys know they're just setting us up. This is their plan. They finish every season 8, 9, and 7. So in order to do that, you got to have a slower, stroppy start. You can't come out the box, swinging on all cylinders. So this is how they do it. This is a Pittsburgh game all the way. I do feel bad for Houston because, that's a rough stretch to start the season out, bro. 0-3.
Benny, what you got?
Man, as much as I want to consider this a must-win for the Texans, they are in this weird like Bermuda Triangle down there in Houston where they win the division 8-8 on some BS, and it's like, what? AFC South, gotta love that division. Makes no sense every year in and year out. Steelers are, I don't know, man. Is this the? See, I'm having trouble getting on the whole. The Steelers are back train. I really am. I don't trust Ben Roethlisberger for a full season. I just don't at this point. I don't know why people are elevating him back to like top 5 quarterback again. He lived out in the woods and he was like addicted to porn or whatever the hell he was talking about in the offseason. The man is broken. I'm not buying Big Ben long term, but they are going to beat the Texans because the Texans fire Bill O'Brien. Just get over with, please.
Yep.
Earl Burnett, what you got?
You might not be buying Roethlisberger coming back, but you got to buy what's around Roethlisberger.
True.
So that's what's making Pittsburgh so good right now. It doesn't have to be a star quarterback back there to do what they do, but I like their defense. And Houston, like you guys were talking about, are always that 8-8. The only reason they pulled to that 8-8 because they had Hopkins. You don't have that. Hopkins was 2 things to that team: the decoy and the threat, the weapon. So you take those 2 things out of their offense, they don't have it. They're a team that's lost right now. So this is gonna be a mopping by Pittsburgh.
There we go. So this is the 4th segment. This is the what we call the rapid fire type portion of the show. So we got a few more minutes left here. So let's start with Philadelphia and Cincinnati. What is it? Cincinnati is going to Philadelphia. 2 0-2 teams coming in. Of course, in Wentz, I do not trust. What you got, Casual E?
I'm with you on that, man. You talk about a team that's got full of mediocre players, and the quarterback is the first one. So I'm definitely going to give Burrow his first win. That kid's got it. Whatever it is, he's got it.
Okay,
so
Ed.
Cincinnati.
Ed, what you got?
Until I gotta get good with Philly at home, you find it hard to believe that they're going to fall that far off the cliff and lose to a Cincinnati team at home, which is improving. But if you're Philadelphia, this is one of those ones. You pack the season up if you don't win this one. So I got Philadelphia.
Benny Blue.
So the Eagles have been hearing the chatter. Carson's going to play much improved. They're going to get more out of their depth, and I think Doug Peterson is going to put Carson in a position to win. And just when they're about to do it, the Bayou Bengals going to slip in there and get his first W of the season. I'm sorry, Ed. The Eagles are. Ed, when you know it's bad when the Eagles are hitting the button for the boost. It's not even real boost. They're hitting the button for the boost.
Sean, what you got?
I'm with that on this one. I can't pick Cincinnati on toss-up road games just yet. The home team's going to win here, and until then, the players won't get free Philadelphia cheesesteaks, right? I mean, come on. I'm going Philly at home.
Argument: Cincinnati could be 2-0.
Yeah,
that Burrow is no joke.
A lot of could be's around that bad boy. So we got just to recap quickly of the Thursday night game. It was Miami at Jacksonville. Thursday night game again. Miami ended up winning 31-13 over Jacksonville, and it was Fitzmagic, whatever you want to call him, had 3 touchdown passes. How did you guys see this game playing out? We'll start with you, Sean.
This was the facial hair bowl. I was thinking no Tua, no win. Jacksonville would win by default, and I was wrong.
Okay, what'd you have, Earl?
I had what did I have in this game? I had Jacksonville. We all fell for the bait. I fell for the bait that they were, looking like they were not supposed to look. But I thought that Miami would get on track, but I thought Jacksonville's offense, they play a good second half. They've done that the last 2 games. They play a good second half and stay in games. But real quick, now they're on the track to do what they were going to do. Get on that losing endeavor for Trevor.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my what?
Good Lord. Benny Blue, who'd you have?
Knock it off.
They just draft 2 of the losing endeavor for Trevor. Oh, my God.
They go on a losing endeavor for Trevor. That's what they were supposed to be doing at the start of the season until they started winning games.
That hurts.
Yeah, well, we're going to see Tua sooner than later. I'm actually happy. On the podcast, I did pick the Finns. JB picked the Jags for kind of similar reasons that Sean said, because it really don't know who to trust in this game. The Dolphins, I'm telling you, man, the Dolphins are like a couple clicks up from where the Bengals are trying to go. They're well coached and they're getting the guys that they need to really fill out their scheme. And I don't know, man. I still kind of have my eyes on the Fins, but I did pick them in this game because this was a classic Jaguars smelling their own piss game, and you're going to see them start to get beat down relentlessly for the rest of the season.
The only one picked them in this group.
There we go. So now Tennessee at Minnesota.
Oh, you ain't even want to ask me, huh?
Oh, my bad. What you got?
Go ahead. Just go on. You don't need. No, I chickened out and I picked Miami last second, changed it back to Jacksonville. That's my own fault.
So as I was saying, so we go into to Tennessee at Minnesota. To Ed loves Minnesota. He thinks they are a Super Bowl contender. That's what he believes.
Wow.
That's what he said. Yes, that's what he said Sunday after the game.
Not that 98 team.
So much.
Sorry.
So what you got on this one, Ed? What you got?
Sean, you stole my thunder earlier because I was actually going to bring up Bortles, and I was going to say 2019. It was all I had to say was Bortles. 2020, all I got to say was Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
So you know I'm not pick. I'm Tennessee. Kirk Cousins.
There you go, Benny Blue.
So I had the pleasure of playing against and beating Kirk Cousins' Holland Christian team in high school, and he likes that because he's robbed the bank like Brock Osweiler, and we are seeing the true Kirk Cousins. Without Stephon Diggs, we are seeing who he really is. Everybody was so damn high on this Vikings team. Like, without any sort of NFC North bias, it really made me sick because it's like they weren't even watching with all the players that they lost. Ugh, the Titans are gonna tighten up on their ass because I don't trust the Vikings for anything right now.
What you got, Sean?
Titans are gonna control the ball and the game. They win big.
Earl, what you got?
Yeah, Benny's right. Kirk Cousins has been exposed because when you got a running back like Dalvin Cook and you can't utilize him and play off of him, and that's just bad if you can't do that. So I got the other words I would say is Derrick Henry, period. Game over.
There you go. Carolina at the Chargers. It's bad when, let's say, Ed walks into the trainer and says, "Hey, I got my chest is a little bit sore. I got some broken ribs. I got some ribs. Can you just give me a shot?" And then they puncture your lung. That's what happened to Tyrod Taylor. So Carolina at the Chargers. Chargers are coming in 1-1. Carolina is 0-2. What you got on this one, Earl?
I like the rookie getting his first win in the NFL. Carolina's just no Christian McCaffrey. They busted up. There's nothing. I mean, what else do they have? I like the rookie in this one.
Ed, what you got?
Same there with Casual E. I'm going Chargers over Carolina. Not enough weapons.
And Benny Blue.
Yeah, apparently the Chargers team physician is Dr. Nick from The Simpsons.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, he's looking at your ankle when you have a concussion. So it's just a whole Tyrod Taylor, man. We're gonna look back at his career like, damn, that dude got a raw deal.
That's a break, huh?
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. But unfortunately for him, Justin Herbert's actually been playing some good ball. He was making some good second, third year reads, and the Chargers are gonna win. Panthers, I don't know what to make of them, but they're not gonna win this one.
Sean, what you got?
If you're a Panthers fan, this game will take the wind out of you. Too soon?
Oh, no, he was waiting for it.
Chargers win. Chargers
Yes, he
win.
was. Yes,
Go
he
Chargers.
Was. All right, so the last one we have the Jets at Indianapolis. The Jets are 0-2. Indianapolis is 1-1. I still don't trust Phillip Rivers, but who do you choose in this one? So let's go with you, Benny Blue.
Yeah, I really don't want to root for Phillip Rivers in any way, shape, or form. That is just. And then the Jets, it's like, good Lord, what is going on there? I mean, the Colts are going to win. I mean, I really have no in-depth analysis on that. The Colts are going to win.
Sean, what you got?
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Jets suck. The Colts win.
What you got, Ed?
Indianapolis. If you lose this one, we're not gonna pay you this week. You gotta get a damn check back.
And Casual E, take us out. What you got?
I think Phillip Rivers is good enough to beat the Jets. I would hope so.
You
yeah,
think
I'm
so?
going with that too.
You think so? So we do this every Thursday around this time. Shout outs and thanks to Benny Blue for rolling through. That is a good dude. I even had
Appreciate you, Benny.
pizza with him back in the day. So we'll catch y'all next time. Make sure you tune in to ksrnaz.com, ksrnaz.com, ksrnaz.com. Until next time, you can
See you.
I want my trophy back, Sean.
Not a chance.
Thanks for jumping in, Benny, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.